Welcome to Single Subject Design for Special Education 6680. This is your professor, Dr. Rochelle Schaefer. Remember, with single subject design, you are working with one student. You're creating first a baseline. How? Well, I prefer using functional behavioral assessment. With baselines, using a FBA to count behaviors, you must have a stable occurrence. See if I can turn the page. All right. You also have a baseline that must be predictive. For instance, I've created this lovely table. Haha. All right, so we're going to look at this. We have to find the one that's predictive. All right, so 2 p.m. Sally has 3 out-of-seat behaviors. 1, 2, 3, and 1. Is that really predictive? Not really. At noon, 0, 2, 1, 0, 2. We're not really seeing, yes, we're seeing a pattern, but we're not seeing something that's predictive. At 9 a.m., we're seeing 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. Well, it's a pattern, but we're not seeing what constitutes a trend. Baselines must be descriptive. It answers, why is this a problem behavior? How is it affecting educational need? And what is the best way to assist the student? Oh, it leads to interventions. Key terms. Oh, no, you're seeing this again. It's a variable. The dependent variable, that thing that we're going to change, with the independent variable. Oh, wait, there's the confounding variables. The confounding variables are those things that are outside in the setting, in the environment, oh my goodness, that are messing up our ability to measure the dependent variable and the independent variable. We want to eliminate, as close as possible, the confounding variables. All right, so review of challenging behavior. We need to know what an antecedent is. Okay, so an antecedent is the thing that comes before the behavior. Well, that's kind of simplistic, isn't it? So let's think. If a teacher just kind of walks in and Johnny out there in the classroom just goes off, we cannot say, well, the teacher walked in. That is impossible. We have to be able to measure, we have to be able to empirically state that it was the teacher's presence that caused Johnny to go off. Now, if the child is for some reason unable to handle change, oh yeah, we could probably go, well, yeah, but most functional behavioral assessments, you don't know why the behavior is happening, so how would you know? So, an antecedent is going to be anything in the environment that is unusual that occurs before that behavior. Behavior, well, all of you know what behavior is. So if Johnny is up and down out of his seat, well, that's obviously a behavior. I love coffee. So me getting up to get more coffee, that's a behavior. Does it constitute as challenging behavior? Well, if I get dehydrated, that is challenging behavior. Also, it constitutes as self-medicating behavior. A lot of individuals with ADHD self-medicate. So you need to watch for that. Consequences. What is the consequence that your student is facing. Now, if we, the teacher is stressed and we self-medicate with chocolate or, that candy of your favorite choice, and we overly self-medicate, then we know that the consequence is an additional few pounds. A child who is shouting, who is needing the teacher's attention and demonstrating that by shouting out the answer faster than anyone can, or demonstrating things, the symptoms of learned helplessness, often is aware of the consequences, but more at a subconscious level. They have a need, and it's worthwhile to them to face the consequences because that need is so strong. When people communicate at a required level, they are willing to face the consequences. When people are communicating at a social level, they're not willing to face consequences that are more dire than the social level. So if Johnny has a required need of safety, he will communicate and say, "I need," whereas you, the teacher, will be interrupted, even if that need for safety is only perceived by Johnny. Challenging behavior. Please identify the difference between cultural, communication, disability-oriented behaviors before saying that a behavior is challenging. Now, does that mean that you're not needing control of your classroom? No. And I am going to be posting this wonderful speech by Rita Pierson demonstrating how she took control of her classroom by collaborating with her parents. And she did not tell her students that they were any less by doing what came culturally normal for them. But if you tell a student that what they do normally by their culture is inadequate by your culture, or is disabled according to your culture, you will never see the performance that you need, again, from that child. So, get to know the families in your classroom. And I know you already do, but I just feel really strongly that you need to do this. So, there's my heads up. Okay, baseline mean. This always gets people confused. And so I'm going to do like the table does, and I'm going to show you how to do that, and then I'm going to show you the easy way. And you're probably thinking, why not just do the easy way first? I've been tempted, but I thought I'd show you how to do it the table first. How to compute baseline stability. Take the number of sessions with data points. Okay, number of sessions, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, you always have a minimum of 5 sessions, 5 data points. Okay, so we have these 5 grades, And of course, we have to have a sum. So I added up all the data points, I divided, and I got a mean. You all can do that. I took 50% of the mean, I added it all up, and I did the same as the table. And you're thinking, but Miss, that's what my high school students used to say, if you subtract 57 from 28.5, then you have 28.5. And you subtract 28.5 from 28.5, that gives you 0. That does not make sense. Right? Right. Okay. I fought with this table. When I was learning all of this, I just struggled. Okay. Easy way. Easy way, easy way. The range is always 0.05 minus, not minus, oh my gosh, 0.05 through 0.2. Easy. Okay, so what you do, we already know the mean is 57. We take 57 times 0.05 and you get 59. You're going to add it, of course. You get 59.85. Cool? All right, well, 57 times 0.05 is 2.85. We subtract it from 57, you get 54.15. Woo! All right, now we're going to multiply 57 times 0.2. That is 11.4. We add that to 57 and you're going to get 68.4. Now we're going to take 11.4 and subtract it from 57 and we get 45.6. Now we have to test our data points. Here are our grades. Now we have to see if 55 falls in. And our bottom is 45.6. Our top is 68.4. Does 55 fall in there? Sure does. Does 45? Oh man, nope, it doesn't. Now technically we could just stop right there and go, this doesn't work. But, you know, just for good measure, 60, yes, 70, not quite. And 55, of course, it does. So, it is not stable. But because we were so close, I would recommend, if this was a real student, that we would continue another 5 data points. Have the child go 5 more tests, especially if this is RTI. You know, it's kind of like, oh yeah, 5 more tests. Get that baseline stable, and then we start the intervention. Because he was really close here. Cool? Okay. Now, the trend. The data indicates a direction. It's either going positive, okay, bottom, on the left, going to the right, going up. You guys know this, you've taught it. From the right, going down is negative. You guys know this. Must have 3 data points to have a trend. It has to have a minimum of 3 points to have a trend. And remember this for your research papers. If you are doing research, a literature review does not have research that you are actually doing. A literature review has, a literature review paper. Literature review paper is where you are taking all of the literature in a particular area, answering a particular question, and you are taking all of this information, kind of like a meta-analysis, and you are helping other people by answering your question. Research papers where you're actually doing research. So when you're doing research, and this is more action research or for a research paper